a brilliant astronomer turned the world upside down. Hey there, welcome to my channel. A young man from a small town was obsessed with the stars. He would look up at the sky and dream about one day being able to explore them. In fact, his father originally wanted Nicolaus to become a lawyer. Astronomy wasn't considered a real science. Back then, most people believed that the sun and other planets revolved around the Earth. There, he got a job from a bishop who sent him back to Poland to take care of an astronomical clock tower. Even though he was officially an accountant, we know now that Copernicus spent most of his time using the telescope in the tower. He observed the sky and recorded his observations in a secret notebook. He realized that something was wrong with the common theory that the Earth was the center of the universe. Many scientists were thrilled to learn that the Earth wasn't the center of the universe, but others weren't too happy. For example, one Dominican friar named Nicolaus Copernicus didn't like the idea that the Earth moved. He was curious about the universe and wanted to discover its secrets no matter what. He showed us that it's possible to change the world if you just follow your dreams. Thanks to Copernicus, we now know that the Earth isn't the center of the universe. We've even managed to land on the moon. This wouldn't have been possible without the brave Polish astronomer who dared to go against the church and write down his theories in a secret notebook. He said that Copernicus's theory was dangerous and absurd. Other religious leaders agreed with him, and for a while, the heliocentric theory, which states that the sun is in the center of the solar system, remained a controversial topic. But slowly, more and more people started to accept it. But he couldn't say what he had discovered. Not yet. He had to be very careful. After reading Copernicus's book, Galileo became interested in astronomy and started to make important discoveries of his own. With his telescope, he observed the phases of Venus, which supported Copernicus's heliocentric theory. Subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to never miss any new videos. He also discovered 4 moons around Jupiter. This was proof that not everything revolved around the Earth. Other scientists followed in their footsteps, and soon, the theory that the sun is in the center of the universe became widely accepted. They thought this because it looked like it. Besides, the church didn't want people to know anything that could threaten its power. The Pope liked him and asked him to give an astronomy lecture. When he discussed his ideas with some friends, they told him that he should keep quiet, since the church would never accept his theory. But Copernicus wanted to share his findings with the world, so he wrote them down in a book. However, it took him 25 years to finish his work. Because he was always afraid of getting caught, he kept revising and modifying his theory until he was sure it was correct. Finally, in 1543, when he was 70 years old, he decided to publish his book. Copernicus accepted the offer and gained fame throughout Italy for his knowledge. In 1513, he was offered a professorship at the University of Padua, but he declined the offer. He was happy in Rome, where he continued to do research and write his famous book, The Revolutions of the Heavenly Spheres. In this book, he explained his theory that the sun, not the Earth, is in the center of the universe. All the other planets revolve around it, including the Earth. His theory changed the way humans saw their place in the universe, but he didn't publish his ideas right away. So science wasn't taught in schools or universities, and those who were interested in this subject often had to study in secret. That's why after attending primary school, Copernicus went to study at the University of Krakow in Poland, where he earned a bachelor's degree in 1492 and a master's degree in 1494. Asperger published the book and sent a copy to Copernicus, but he never got to read it. When it arrived, the great astronomer was already sick and blind. He had been working on another book when he went blind. He had hoped to finish it, but when he realized he wouldn't be able to, he stopped writing altogether. He died in May 1543. But his legacy lived on. At the university, he studied theology, law, medicine, and astronomy. Although he had many interests, he was especially fascinated by astronomy. He learned how to make astronomical instruments like These tools helped him track the position of the stars, and he also learned how to use a telescope, which astronomers use to observe the night sky. He even built his own telescope. With this, he could see things in space in much greater detail than anyone had seen them before. But this man lived in a time when science wasn't respected and priests controlled all knowledge. If he wanted to make a name for himself, he had to be careful not to upset the church. And so, he chose a safe topic for his studies: accounting. He became an accountant. And then something incredible happened. A bishop asked him to take over the care of an astronomical clock tower. The young man took the job, and it changed everything because it gave him access to a telescope. He started to study astronomy, and soon, he uncovered secrets of the universe that no human had ever known before. But this put him in danger. To protect himself, he wrote down his discoveries in secret. It took him years to finish his work, but eventually, he published his findings and changed the course of history forever. This was Nicolaus Copernicus. Copernicus was born in the small town of Thorn in 1473. His father was a wealthy merchant who made sure Nicolaus and his siblings received a good education. But although Copernicus loved astronomy, he knew that if he wanted to get a job and earn his father's respect, he shouldn't pursue this interest. For this reason, after graduating from the University of Copernicus went to Italy to continue studying under the guise of working for the church. In 1511, Copernicus returned to Rome and met Pope Leo X. The thing was, Copernicus was afraid of being ridiculed. He sent the manuscript to a friend in Germany, who then gave it to a famous printer named Andreas. People started to read his book, and it became a huge success. One of them was a young astronomer named Galileo. Although Copernicus was persecuted for his scientific work, he didn't give up. So what do you think? Was Copernicus right? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like the video.